Hello, builders. It's Torondor the Builder here. How are you doing? It's just about dawn, I think, here in this quaint little forest that's sort of an evergreen forest, maybe kind of. Anyway, I thought we'd do a let's build. I'm going to actually show you how I built the log cabin that is behind me, and some of the thoughts and processes that I put into that. So give me just a moment to gather the materials, and we'll get started. All right, so I've got my stuff, and let's go take a look now. I've gathered most of the things I'll need to begin with. This is a relatively simple cabin in the woods, but we'll get into the inside of it here in just a minute. Um, it's a 9 by, is it 9 by 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, it is. A 9 by 9 with a little bit sticking out here and there. Now, the thing about making a log cabin is that most log cabins, and any of you who have ever heard of Lincoln logs, one, two, three, four, five, six, oops, seven, eight, nine, know that generally speaking, if you look at the ends of log cabins, or if you look at the corners of them, they look kind of like this. Where you see the end of one log on one side and the end of another log on another. The only problem is that they are generally not stacked like this. Um, they are actually a lot more like, let me see here if I can give you an example. Uh, well, we'll just get rid of that. They're actually a lot more like this in the sense that what you have is you'll have logs, and in between the logs you'll have this filler of this mortar or something of that nature. So anyway, that's how it would really be. But let's face it, those are actually usually very thin layers, kind of like just a little bit of mud or a little bit of stuff in between the layers. And that's partly because these logs are not literally stacked one on top of each other, one on top of another. They are actually notched so that you would actually have something a little closer to this. Oops. So that you would see three on that side, you'd see three on that side, maybe with a slightly larger gap. So anyway, obviously this is Minecraft, and we can't exactly do that. I mean, you could certainly do that, but let's face it, at just 2 blocks, you're already at 2 meters high, and you're as big as the player is. So what I've elected to do, as you can see over there, is I elected to go and simply use 2 different colors of wood to give you a slightly different um, texture. See, as you can see, there's one, there's another, and I just wanted to leave it at that. So it's not perfect. Let's see, four. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. Yeah, you got to be a little careful of the way this stuff goes, and that will be a door, I think. Yeah. So it can be, yeah, it can be really tricky when the grasses are there. Oh my gosh. So there are certainly, several ways you could do this. You could definitely do it with you could go ahead and do it with birch wood. You could do it with oak wood. I actually originally started this with kind of an oak wood look to it. Let's see if I can. Really, sheepy? I've got it on peaceful so that at least the monsters are coming out. But as you can see, that's kind of a very different look. So it's really up to you how you do it. I was looking for darker, so I went with the dark oak and the spruce. Um, but anyway, so let's go ahead and put in eh, get in some of our layers. And other than alternating the ends and alternating the different layers of um, making sure I alternate the different layers of actual log, of the different colors, the different whatever texture types. I have for the most part. No, something's wrong there. There we go. That's actually where the door goes. The reason I say that is because I know, no, that's not right. That's right. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it goes like that, and then it goes like that, and I know there's a lot of overbuild here because I need to place certain logs in certain directions. So that's okay though. It happens. You just gotta get rid of them afterwards. So anyway, so this is very kind of interesting because there I'm wondering. I was reading today about some of the work Dinnerbone's been doing. He has actually been doing work on the dual wielding. That's basically where um, instead of just having one hand, hello, you'll have this hand as well as a left hand, and you say, well, that's great, but so what? Um, get out of the door! Oh my God, lunatic sheep. Let's go ahead and put a door there. There we go. We'll also get the Windus back out. Anyway, so Dinnerbone was saying that while unfortunately, like many people, I think were hoping, there is not actually going to be a um, an actual dual wielding. In other words, you will not actually be able to have two swords in two hands and use them both at the same time, like you might with other things. I think one, two, three. Actually, I think this guy was here in that other house. I don't remember exactly, but that's close enough. Um, there is the option of placing. First of all, there's the option of playing either as left-handed or right-handed, which is great for all you lefties out there. I personally am right-handed. I will probably continue to be right-handed because that's just what I'm used to, as well as being actually right-handed. But the nice thing is that um, let's face it, there are a number of tools and weapons that have a right click function. For example, you can swing your fist to go ahead and punch at things, but for a lot of other things like torches or I don't know, ender pearls or whatever, you use the right click for that secondary function. Okay, I think that's it. That's as far as it goes up. Um, so hold that thought on the dual wielding, and we'll get back to that in just a moment. Now from here, what I did, and you don't have to do this. Obviously, you could do plank insides and whatnot, but I truly wanted to make a true like log cabin sort of thing. So I went ahead and I'm actually using I'm assuming that my guy's out there and he's felling logs and he is putting basically logs across the top as great big beams, and I'm gonna time set day so that it don't get too dark in here. Um, darn it, nope, don't want to do that. There we go. But I went ahead and decided to do something. Oops, I forgot the next level. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the logs can be really tricky because of how they are oriented. And hey, you know what? You can put them actually however you'd like, but I want them to look like they're actually laying on there, like they're part of a single tree or limb or whatever that has fallen. Um, so anyway, yeah, there we go. And we're going to take this up just, oops, almost all the way up to the top. Um, so back to the dual wielding. Um, the advantage is that you will essentially be able to put something in your offhand, like in my case, that would be my left hand, that can be used with a right click. In other words, if I have a right click function, any tool or item that has a right click function, I can put in there. And then basically what will happen is if you are left clicking, attack, 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 it will do that. If you right click, it will do whatever the right click function is of whatever item is in your offhand. In my case, my left hand. So for example, if I had a sword in my right hand and a stack of dirt in my left. Now let's go take a look at how we did the shingles or the roof in this case. Now I'll get back to the dual wield in just a second. Now in this case, what I chose to do is I chose to flatten it out slightly at the top, and I put a stone cap in. Not altogether uncommon to have something like that at the top. But I chose to use just wood planks as opposed to shingles, thinking, if I was out here in the woods, I'd probably have some sort of wood slats or wood type shingles, and just elected to go with that. Now I came down with the steps down to the edge of the actual wall, and then I went one beyond it with a half slab for two reasons. One, because I could have gone all the way down with one more step, but it would have covered up the entire edge of the log there, and I didn't really want to do that. So this is actually one of the easiest roofs that I've done in terms of actually placing it, because you already have, all right, so maybe not, I'm getting a lot of overage here. Obviously, if you are not in creative mode, you're going to be a little more careful with how you place, because it's going to eat into your axe and whatnot to get rid of it. Now, the other thing that you may notice is I did overhang the roof one block to the back, and actually I overhang it two to the front. You don't have to do that at all. I did it for two reasons. One, I was originally going to do it just one block on both the front and the back, but then I decided to put in that porch on the front, and so I went from one block, and I said, "Ooh, well, look at that! It does overhang. That's great, but if I overhung it one more, I could go ahead and put in the additional pieces the additional posts that enabled it to go all the way up to the top. Oops. There we are. And almost done, almost done. Yeah, it's a little crazy. And that thing over there, that's another project I'm working on, but that's not for today. That's I'd really like to figure out how to do a decent water tower. And oops, this is actually supposed to have a block right like that. There we go. And then we go, oh my goodness. Nope, nope, nope. Like that. And like that. It just gives it a bit of texture, if you will, so that it's not just suddenly flat. Now, what I did do, at least on the inside, is I did go ahead and take the peak all the way up, oops, to the top. Can I get out of here now? No, I can't. There we go. And we'll get to this in just a minute, because there's actually a fireplace that goes on the back there, but I don't want to do that just yet. Nope, 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 nope. So going back to the dual wielding, Sorry, I keep going back as I want to cover that. The interesting thing is that, like I said, I could have a stack of dirt blocks in my left hand, and I could have, at least I presume, that all depends on what they allow you to put in that offhand slot. It may be that they limit it to tools or to food or shields or whatever. So there's all sorts of things they could actually do to limit it. Hopefully they will not, but you never know. Now I think I did. Actually, nope. I think I did. I do this? I forget whether I actually took this all the way over to there or not, because what I did do is I went and I did this at each of the intermediate pieces. I think I went one beyond that. Did I go one beyond? Yes, I did. Um, yeah, because I wanted. You could certainly do a couple different things to support the balcony. Obviously, you don't have to support the balcony at all. Whoops. You could go crazy and just throw posts wherever you want. I like to have my balconies supported, as you all know. Um, hmm. I'm pretty sure that that's correct. That is 2 blocks above that, and that's 2 blocks above. Oh, it is 3. Oops. I was wondering why my posts were not tall enough. But they're not tall enough because they're supposed to be 3 high, not too high. Let's see. There we go. Now we've got our balcony there, and we're gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and put. I think I can do it like this. Bam, and bam, and bam, and you might be wondering, well, why am I going and doing overhanging it like that? Well, first of all, I like that because you can always go and put in a solid block there as opposed to a step. Um, it all depends. Anything to not have the gap in between. If you try to put just a half slab there, it's going to have a gap, and it's just not going to look right. It's going to look like you've got a post there that's not supporting anything. So, and the reason that I went all the way out to the edges like that in the first place is because I'm going to go and carry this guy all the way over to there. Ta-da! Okay. Well, dang, that the front is looking right nice. So we've got our little front porch here, and our door, and our windows, and we've got our upper porch. You cannot get to it from the outside. Obviously, you could make it bigger, both bottom and this part. You could make it a 2-part. You could add a fountain off of it, or a garden off of it. There's all sorts of details that you can add to it. I was keeping it relatively simple. I don't think I need any more logs, but we will see. I am going to need some cobblestone, and I am going to need cobblestone half slabs. Don't think I need those, but I do need the cobblestone. That, and I'm going to need one furnace. One furnace. And I don't think I need any more doors, or any more glass for that matter. So let's go ahead and get these guys up on top. Now the nice thing is that by not putting that half slab one more piece up, I don't wind up with something that looks like that, with a gap in between. I can actually put that right on top, and it is going to get dark again. There we go. Again, this is just kind of like for decoration. Yeah, I do need that off. Oh, I know what I need. I need one, and this is one of the weirdest things, that these cobblestone walls are in blocks and the not in decoration. So now, as you can see over here, I do have the fireplace and the chimney outside of the wall, but as you'll see here in a minute when I take you inside, I actually do have it to. Oh darn, you can't see. There you go. I actually have it 2 blocks in depth. So, darn, I didn't mean to do that entirely. Oh, blast. Well, we'll just go ahead and fix this up. I'll fix it up there and I'll bring it back here to my workshop, Cindy Lou Who. So, again, this all depends on whether or not, um, you really want to get that deeply into boom, a fireplace. And the reason I say that is because this fireplace is even better if, and only if, you have the flame stick spread, I believe it is, turned off. And the reason I say that is because obviously this house is made of wood. Please do not burn your house down by going and putting in. Oh, nope, sorry. It goes up one more. There we go. Da, 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 da. So, there is my fireplace. We'll have a little angle there and there. A little step. Alright, now you're wondering, like, well, why do I have a hole there? Well, I mean, it wouldn't do to have a fireplace without it actually being useful. So I figure I like to go in here and we'll break out the rest of this. Bam. Oop. Darn it. Now, I will check over in there. I did things a little bit differently. But I went ahead and put that in there. Because I really liked, the ability to go and have that. And then we come back in here and can have, let's see, like that. Actually, did I do it like that? No, I think that might be like that. And that is like that, I think. We will check it out here in just a moment. Tell you what. So, anyway, so that is the basic cabin. Now let's go over here and take a look at the insides. And you can see, obviously, insides are a little bit more up to you. We'll go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff that oh, wait a minute. That one I might need. Might need that for the fireplace. And I will need stairs. And actually, I think I'll need cobblestone slabs too. But there's a couple things I'll need. But anyway, so let's go inside here. Da, da, da. Oh, my lovely hunter's cabin. All right. So, of course, I've got my kitchen. You know, that's the way I just do things. The separate boxes are because, or chests are because one's a chest, the other's a trap chest. That's easy enough to do. As long as you have half slabs up above there, you don't have to worry about those not being able to open. As for the fireplace, I went ahead and I did put that in there. Okay. I do have it pop out from the wall just a little bit. I wanted to have sort of a mantle piece effect going on there where I could actually put some things. I put some flower pots up there. So those allow me to do that without completely blocking this in. I I at one point was going to have the spread flame tick, whatever it is, turned off. I cannot. I didn't last night find the means of doing that. I didn't take the time to look up the code. I apologize. But anyway, again, that's something you can only do if the cheat codes or creative mode are on. So, just keep that in mind. If you're in survival and you go to light a fire in there, you may very well burn this whole thing down. Um, so, I did put a hearth around it for that very purpose, with the idea being that, the less stuff I had in here, the better. You certainly could go ahead and put, oops, that's the wrong color. I guess that's spruce. The spruce wood, spruce, there it is. Spruce, I'm pretty sure that's spruce wood. Yes, it is. So you could certainly go with a smaller hearth. I put in carpet, like in the forest greens, etc. And otherwise, it's just things that you would find in your typical hunting cabin. It's got a little kitchen, a little place to rest after a long day of hunting nogtails or creepers or cows and rabbits. So yeah, I mean, just have those things that you might see in there. Now I do have a stair in here. Now this was a little tricky because you do have the logs that come over the top. That effectively takes out a half a block, or sorry, a block. So you really, if you don't make it any deeper than of a house than I made it, you are kind of limited to how far up it can come before you got to turn it this way. And as a result, obviously I live precariously and I could fall off here at any time. So try not to do that. Don't hurt yourself. Up here I have my bedroom, complete with my wonderful hunting garb and my little bed with my balcony. Hello, nature. And I did actually go through the trouble of putting in a sink with I don't know, I put a dispenser over there. Or a dispenser? Yeah, I think a dispenser because it has the hole in the front. So I thought, oh, well, where's my plumbing going to go? It's going to go in where the hole is. Um, I tried actually putting this is of course a blue banner. That's my towel. I don't know why I have such a big towel because um, I don't have a shower. So why would I need such a big towel? Well, here's why I have such a big towel because apparently I can knock out the entire block. Is that spruce? Yes. No, it's not. It is dark oak. Dun dun dun. Okay. Let's go back to dark oak. Because I found, ooh, look, I can hold shift and put my blue banner there. Oh, look, it's like a little towel rack with like a face towel or a washcloth, right? That works. Yeah, so it's so much bet. Oh yeah, I forgot. The banner is like an entity that can just like it doesn't have only the top part of the T or the vertical part of the T is that is wood is actually solid and has a hitbox, so these can go down through the bottom of your slabs. Now, this would not be an issue if I had I think those are oak. But if I had a full height oak block, then I could go ahead and place it like that. But I did not do the oak blocks. I did do just the oak half slabs. So that does not work. And last but not least, because I guess this is all just kind of interior decorating, so I'll leave this up to you, and I'm going to kind of keep this short. There's a lot of things you can do for lighting. If you do have the no flame tick, the no flame spread tick on, um, you can light a fire in here. That will help illuminate it. You can certainly use torches. You can use sea lanterns, etc. You could put some up in the top. Um, One of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to have a lamp here. I actually like the redstone lamps. The only thing I don't like is the fact that they're so difficult to get power to. But because they have the new right click, invert the signal kind of thing, this pretty much ensures that that lamp will stay on because it rarely gets so bright or so dark, depending on which way I have this, set, that I get absolutely no signal to it, and so the lamp stays on. So yeah. Otherwise, again, it's a hunting cabin, so I went ahead and did decoration with some pretty traditional stuff. I've got a painting or two of the monsters that are around. I've got a fishing rod with the fish that I've caught. I've got the skull of a beastie. Um, it would actually be kind of nice if they had some more heads. I would love to go ahead and like put like a big cow head up there or something. And I know that there are ones that you can do that with, but mods and things. But that's okay. Um, I did, yeah. I put the two skins over there again because there aren't really other skins that you can put. I suppose I could put the dragon egg in here somewhere, although that's not exactly what I would call hunting. Nor are any of the other foods and whatnot. I suppose you could put like they have the rabbit skin, so it doesn't make sense to really put like raw rabbit up there or chicken or zombie flesh or steak. That's just kind of silly. Um, and there really isn't anything else, that I would put up there in terms of like a creature or something other than, that looks like a cowhide or a deer skin or something, and there's a rabbit hide. So, there you go. It's about as close as we get to it. I could probably put an arrow up there or something like that. And I've got an axe over there that's maybe it's a painting of an axe. I don't know. Maybe it's the axe that I use in my daily trip around through the dark and scary woods. So the rest of it is really just up to you. Again, I'd be happy to do an interior decorating episode. I am kind of waiting for the next go round, the next update, at least one of the snapshots. What am I looking for? I'm looking for some exterior decoration. Because I want some of, well, darn it, because I want some of this. There we are. And vines and really big ferns. Because I want to take a look at what they've got. Um, I know some of the things they've talked about, like in addition to being able to dual wield, there has been talk about using the ability to rotate blocks and structures and things like that. So I don't know exactly what that means yet. I don't think anybody really does yet. I'm gonna plant a bunch of evergreens because I think it looks better than the oaks for this particular cabin. Um, so there are certainly some possibilities there when I get into that, but I will wait and see where that goes, how involved it is. I mean, you could coat this whole thing with vines. I don't think it looks particularly good all covered in vines. I do like not the wood anyway. I like some of the stone covered in vines. That's okay, but I don't know that the rest of it being covered in vines looks particularly good. So, anyway, yeah, that's kind of it. I know some of my viewers do. Let's go ahead and light this up so you can at least see the inside of it. And yes, oak stairs. Oh, look at that! I love it. Torch, place, drop. Okay, now it works. Um, there are certainly all sorts of things that you can do on the inside that you don't have to do otherwise. I mean, we can go and put you can put actually a torch on either one like that. Um, you can actually go ahead. Well, maybe I should put the ground in here. I don't know. There we go. Put a floor in it. Now, obviously, if you're gonna do this in if you are doing this in survival, that may very well dictate what woods you use. I mean, I speak all well and good about oh, I'm gonna go and use oak, and I'm gonna use dark oak and spruce. Well, let's say you're building it in an oak forest, and you have birch and you have oak, and that's it. Well, then that's unfortunate and it's a bummer, and you should just give up and go home. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Of course, you shouldn't do that. You just should continue to not be a boring builder and go from there. Um, buh, 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 buh. Wait a minute. There we go. Like that, maybe? Hmm. Something's up because I was all the way back here. Well, that's interesting. I guess I could go one more. Oh, that's right. I think I did. Did it? No, I did not. That's what it was. So I had it here, and I think I had it like that because I want. Obviously, you got to be able to come up, and because I don't think that will work. Nope, you're stuck. All right, so you got to make sure that you make sure you can get by with your head. All right, so don't screw it up and don't beat your head up there. I think actually did I maybe I came out one earlier than this. Bum, bum, bum. Ba, da, 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 da. I don't remember. I'd have to go look. Maybe I should do that, huh? Uh-huh. I said I wasn't going to do this, and now I'm doing it. I know it's kind of silly. Um, but anyway, gosh, what was I talking about? I apologize. Maybe like that. Hey, there we go. Yeah, because that way we can go do that. We can do that. I don't know if you saw before. I went ahead and put, where was it? I did get out the signs. One of the things you can use signs for, at least visually, is so that you have little kick plates like that, so that it kind of covers in the gap. So it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't enclose it entirely, but it keeps it from looking like a giant gap you could fall through. So anyway, the idea being that you can certainly decorate the way you want. You are going to be not limited, but you might have a bit of difficulty doing it exactly the way I've got it shown here, depending on what materials you have, what resources you have, what resources you want to expend. I mean, let's face it, if you're, thank you, if you are trying to not have, aha, I got it. If you don't want to use your steel, your iron, sorry, to make iron bars, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Um, yeah. And actually, I mean, you can do all sorts of things. I mean, you can come in here and now see, now this is what happens to me every time I start doing something. I'm like, or you could do this, or you could do that, and it just gets longer and longer and longer. So there's all sorts of things you can do for your fireplace, your stairwell. You could actually come in here and put posts underneath. You could run a beam, across here by making this a solid. Bam and bam. See, like that. So there, it kind of looks, a little bit thicker. Um, there's all sorts of things you could do. You can actually come in here like this. Oops. So that it looks more like that. At some point, you're going to run into. Is that it? No, I think that does go all the way across. So, there are certainly all sorts of ways you can add little bits and features to this so that it looks a little more realistic, um, a little more lifelike, a little more, wow, that's neat. Um, See, here you go. Just by doing this. I didn't even think about this. Whoops. I will do this and then I'll be done, I promise. Promise. So there we go. Look at that. It's like I've got three sets of girders that run across there. Now the only trick is, of course, obviously if you're putting chests in there to act as cupboards, whatnot, you want to make sure that you can still open your stuff up. And hey, actually, look at that. It actually closed up most of the gap there anyway. So that's pretty nifty. So, all right. Well, I'd say my work here is done. So thank you for watching Builders, and hopefully you will enjoy building a cabin in the woods with or without a loft. It doesn't have to be square, rectangular. Obviously, I'm doing this in a slightly simple fashion to show you that just because something is simple does not mean it has to be boring. So, that is something you always have to remember. Things can be small, things can be compact, things can be simple, but they still don't have to be boring. So, all right, so remember that. Don't be a boring builder, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
You're so wonderful.